Your girl Mariah Sincere, and I am back with another bomb lunch hour. So, if you are returning, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. For those of y'all who do not know me, I'm a self love coach who specializes in helping people radically transform their lives through one on one coaching and accountability. I've been able to do it for myself at the beginning of the year. I did not like the fact that I was miserable as a teacher in Dallas, Texas, and I decided I wanted to move to another country. And within 6 months, I was living here in Medellin, Colombia. So if that's something that you would like to do, or if you need help in other areas of your life, feel free to shoot me an email at thepassportsis@gmail.com and I can work with you. Now, with that said, we have a lot to get into today. Y'all, yesterday live ran like at least an hour over. I'm trying to like really make this just an hour, but the conversation be so good. Okay, but let me go ahead and light my candle while I wait for my people to get in here. Y'all, I am so tired. Hurricane Milton had me deeply invested in these people's lives for real. Like I was literally up until like 2:30 in the morning checking on people on TikTok that I had kind of looked up just so I could, have some content to talk about. But then I got emotionally invested. I'm like, oh my God, she stayed in the hurricane with her three children. Like, I have to see what happens to her. Right. So, like, I was really like hourly checking on these people because I was so afraid for them. So we're going to get into that. Let me make sure my connection is good. It looks like I might have a weak connection. Again, as y'all are coming in, hit the like button and make sure that y'all interact in the comment section. This is a live. The more y'all interact, the more the show flows. Give me 1 second. Y'all, I've been watching Jaguar Wright interviews all morning and I'm thoroughly disturbed. I am thoroughly disturbed. I never really just sat down and listened to an interview of hers. And now I'm like, oh my God, this is way worse than what we thought it was. Like, these people in the industry are crazy. Okay, I should be good. So, again, I'm just waiting on some people to get up in here. Yeah, so I'm kind of like, after I get off this live with y'all, I'm gonna need to like take a nap. I'm gonna need to meditate. I'm gonna need to do something because it's so crazy how wicked people really can be, right? And she said something really interesting, and we'll get into it later. But she was like, when can an album happen or drop without an SA taking place? And I was like, it's really that common in the industry. But we'll talk about that again. If you're coming in, hit the like button. Let me know that you're here in the comment section and we'll get right to it. I'm just trying to give people maybe like 2 more minutes and then I'm going to get started. Yeah, so I'm really tired, y'all. I've real life been checking up on these hurricane victims like they're my family members. And I got up and checked on them this morning. And I was like, we gotta wait, make sure that Peach McIntyre is still alive. Okay. Let me tell you something. Florida people, some ain't right in the water. They built different. I have much respect for them though. I respect Florida people now in the way that I respect island people. Y'all know, hey Skinny, what's up? How are you? Skinny, some ain't right with your people. You know what I'm saying? But it's respectable. I'm gonna show y'all some things that's gonna make you go, what in the hell? Yeah, they not right in the head. They not right all the way. Just like my island people, I know they ain't right, but they good people. They good people. All right. So a couple people that I started following as a result of the hurricane. I didn't know that Tampa talk was a thing, but baby, these people in Tampa, Florida, something else. Now, I'm going to give y'all an update on the lady that stayed with her children. Y'all remember that? What I showed y'all yesterday on TikTok. So we're going to look. I think I saved the video. Oh, hold on. Let me go back. Here we go. So she gave an update this morning. Let me go ahead and put my headphones on because we're going to be watching a lot of videos today. I sent you some videos of the Florida crazies on Instagram. Okay, we'll get into that too. Yeah, I remember you sent those videos. We'll get into all of that. Okay, so this is the lady who was like, I'm staying here with my 3 kids. Okay, hold on. I gotta present the screen. Okay, so this is from Angie B __.
This is my update. Y'all, I'm so restless. I know when the power do come back on. If I don't upload for a whole day, don't judge me. I'm gonna be knocked out. I'm so happy everything over. My children did so good. They fell asleep like soon as the power went out. Right now, I got the windows up. I still have stuff in the sink because the water is still cold. I don't know how long we're gonna be without power. I really don't. I'm hoping no more than a few hours.
That sucks being without power and then you have kids. I wonder if well, she's making sandwiches and things like that, so they probably don't have any type of gas stove. Looks like there's no water damage in her house, so I'm happy for her for that, because again, when you are a single parent of 3 kids and then you got to deal with those type of economic issues, yeah, that's not fun.
But it's over what 5 million people or something like that power out. So ain't no telling when the power gonna be back on. Um, Branches and stuff everywhere from my house to leaving out of my community. Everything is down. Like it's like 3 6 poles down. It's crazy. Um, I'm just happy that me and my kids are okay, and I'm happy that we safe and all of my family is too. I really appreciate y'all concerns. Like so many of y'all was beating me up in the comments, like we ain't heard from her. So
Right,
I did not
like
have a charger. My
I
homegirl
was
had
for
to bring
real
me a
on
portable
that.
charger, and my power was still out. That's why I didn't update y'all. But this is my update. I'll be back in 2 hours. But so far so good until the power come back on.
Okay. And there was this other lady. Y'all remember the lady who was like, I'm gonna give y'all hourly updates? She really did. She really did. So until she went to sleep. But this is her this morning at 11:37.
11:37, Thursday, October
Again, this is Morgan Roos with 2 O's 96.
10th. Here in Tampa, Florida, I am safe. I am safe. I made it through the night. Sorry I didn't update y'all sooner. If I'm being completely transparent, I just recently woke up. Let me give you an update about last night because it got dicey as hell after I put the blow up mattress in the hallway. And I'm sorry I didn't like update you guys. To be honest, I was just so effing tired. So I'm laying on this blow up mattress.
And I'm not gonna like show it, but she did an update where water started coming in, getting in through the windows. Like her windows didn't all the way bust out, but she was taking in water. So she was like, okay, I'm just gonna go into the hallway. Mind you, she's up high in her building. So she's telling what happened after that.
And just, you know how when you're like in that like fight or flight feeling where it's like everything is like making you jump and everything's like keeping you awake. So I'm laying on this blow up mattress. Remember, I'm the only one in that hall on this floor. And the lights start flickering. So I'm looking down the hallway and I'm just spooking the hell out of myself, thinking it's like The Shining. Like there's gonna be two twins at the end of the hallway, like slowly walking towards me. The lights are flickering. I can hear on the upper floor just like banging, like obviously like a window had popped, or like there was a draft. Something had happened on a higher floor where I can just hear like continuous banging. So that was just like getting my anxiety all high. And so I'm trying to sleep, but like these big bangs would like wake me up. So I never really like fell asleep. Then at about 4:30 in the morning, I hear this like huge bang noise or like a burst noise. And I can hear just rushing water. I like it just like buckets of water rushing. And I was like, I don't know if a pipe burst. I don't know if a window broke open. I don't know. And then I'm laying there and I can hear like down the hall like water droplet sounds.
Oh hell
And I
no.
look down and there's fucking water coming out of one of the lights. And I was like, Oh my god.
Y'all know what that reminds me of? Y'all remember that scene in the Titanic where Rose and Jack were like running and then they see a little kid, but where the little kid is standing, like there's like water just dripping down the wall, and they went to go get the little kid, and then the daddy came, and then boom, finally the water just burst open, like burst through the doors, and then I think the daddy and the child drowned. Everybody in the movie died, but they was unalive, but y'all know the point. I've seen a lot of images that I'm like, baby, it's giving the Titanic. Okay, I even saw image. If I can pull it up, I will. I saw images of like Transformers bursting, and I'm like, baby, there ain't no Transformers bursting, baby. That's Harry Potter and Lord Voldemort fighting. Like they really be trying to pull the wool over our eyes, baby. I know what wizard do when I see it. Okay, just different colors, flickering, lightning everywhere. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. I know what's going on.
I don't think it's safe to be in the hallway anymore. I don't know, but I can't imagine that water and electricity at the same time is a good option. I should get back in my apartment. So I get up, go back in my apartment. My windows are still intact. There is water everywhere. I should have taken a video. I'm sorry. I'm so tired. There's water everywhere. And I was like, okay, well, my windows are still intact. Yeah, there's water. I just threw more towels down, and I just like finally laid down at like 5:35 right in there. And the wind had died out a bit, and I just passed out. I just fell asleep. And it's that sense of like, you know how when you finally feel safe after like a really like stressful situation, that your body just kind of like collapses. That's how I felt. So I just woke up. I didn't like mean to ghost you guys. I didn't mean to like make anybody think like I'm not okay. I am okay. I'm so grateful and so blessed to be okay. And that truthfully, the worst thing that happened to me during the storm was like water got in my apartment. I lost Wi-Fi. I was spooked. Like there are people that lost absolutely everything. I haven't been outside yet, but just from like my window and looking out.
After seeing videos like this, Florida people ain't never gonna take the hurricane seriously, because the mayor of Tampa went on the news and said, "If you stay, you will perish." Y'all know the word she used. But then you have people making videos like this. Florida people, they already wasn't taking it seriously. I'm gonna show y'all some videos of what they were doing before the
There's
storm.
trees completely uprooted. There's signs just knocked over. There's street lamps down. I want to go outside here in a little bit and see what all happened, but I am fine. I am safe. I'll do an update on what the city looks like, but just so y'all know, I'm not going to show what anyone's houses looks like. That's private. I think that's really fucked up in a moment where somebody's lost everything, using that and being like, oh, look at how bad this is. Nah, but I will show you like city infrastructure that went down for sure. But thank you guys for like.
Okay, so I would stumble upon well, before I show y'all her, this was one guy.
Check the weather in between my lives, and it looks like at 2 a.m. the water might start going down, but in the meantime it's going up. The foundation of the house, like all.
He was so smart. He said, "I'm gonna get me a little kayak boat and just chill out." This is on Barstool Sports on TikTok.
This water's bubbling underneath the foundation, so that's not good. I think that's like how sinkholes happen. The water is smashing up against the window. When I open it, it gets really choppy in here. It's still coming in through the garage. I'm getting annihilated by mosquitoes already, but go live on TikTok. Is it? Oh damn, my light's out there floating around. Whoopsie. So if that light is floating around, that means the cactus.
I'm telling y'all, I would be so scared of a gator coming up out that water and chomping me. And I know, Skinny, you were like, oh, they'll stay away from people during the storm, but I just don't trust it.
Is done for. Man, all those switches, all my light switches are going to get wet. You can see them right now. I got like the smart light switches, and we're going to have to replace all those. That's a bummer.
Sir, you're going to have to replace a lot more than light switches
between my lives, and it looks like.
And he's talking about that's a bummer. Hold on.
It's like, okay, all right, whatever, You know, it's like, okay.
This is from the guy
All right.
who's like, this is in his actual house.
Whatever, you
This
know.
is like his little
You know, it's
update.
like, okay.
Let me see if he said anything. Let's see if the water has receded.
So blessed. No water in the house, no damage. Got the generator running, got the battery packs charging, and most importantly, got the CPAP plugged in. It's been 72 hours. Good night. So blessed. No water in the house, no damage. Got the generator running, got the battery packs charging. And
Hold on. So wait, whose house was he in?
It's been 72 hours. Good night. So blessed.
Oh,
no
okay.
Water in the house, no.
So he was downstairs. Okay, so that's what it looks like. His house downstairs was like gutted. So he was, I guess, in a basement or something. Baby, these people crazy. All right, so I'm going to introduce y'all to Miss Peach McIntyre. If y'all didn't see her on Facebook, this lady is funny. She is a character. She was doing everything but being worried before that hurricane. Okay. Give me 1 second. Now, Peach McIntyre, she has a man and some kids. She took pride in not being afraid of this storm, and she's not the only one. I'm going to show y'all what Peach McIntyre was doing before the storm. Happy Hurricane is wild.
Happy Hurricane. So yeah, if you're from Florida, then you know this is what you're supposed to do. Hey, stay dry.
Floridians, that's what y'all supposed to do? Just walking around in the hurricane.
Wait for what though? We say who was crazy? Who was playing about the heat? Oh, so right now, current time is 11:09 p.m. Hurricane Milton has already made landfall. My family is fine. She's sitting on the couch, husband and some of our kids. Well, we ain't worrying about nothing. All that yapping I was doing. But I told y'all, wasn't worry about no hurricane. Wait for what though?
And she wasn't, because she was doing this in the midst of the storm. I can't play that. Oh, I hope this video don't get flagged. But she was basically dancing to Lil' Kim and doing all that. Oh, here's the proof of Voldemort and Harry Potter fighting. Y'all see that?
Oh my god.
Oh, so that's supposed to be Storm Transformers. Okay. That's supposed to be Transformers.
You guys are holy. You have no idea how crazy this is right now. I don't see a tornado with it, but holy shit. That's close. Dude, you should see this crap. Oh my god.
Normal, Jordan. I swear.
I don't know. Looked like something weird was going on to me. There's Tropical Storm Nadine brewing near Honduras now. Oh, I hope those people are okay, because people in those areas are probably used to dealing with natural disasters, but they're in an even worse position than Florida to deal with a natural disaster. So Peach McIntyre, she gave us some updates of what it was looking like around her neighborhood.
Dispatch, we are in Tampa, Florida. We just got here off of North 14th Street and 122nd, which is where it's flooded at. Everybody has been talking about how it's flooded on 15th Street, and people have been getting rescued with boats. I have the road blocked off so we couldn't drive straight through, but I parked in the back. And you can see people walking with their belongings. You can see people on the boats. They say it is alligators in this water. Y'all know I'm a Florida native. So I know anytime you see a puddle of water, I don't care if it's just this deep, always assume that there is an alligator. So the U.S. military, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, and the Tampa Police Department is out here rescuing people on boats. They say they're getting them out of Cinnamon Cove.
Y'all see these people wading through the water with stuff?
Apartments, which is across the street over there. I don't have rain boots. Walmart is closed, but I put on the best boots that I own. Okay, and I also have change of clothes all the way down there. Depends on how much content do y'all want to get, Peach Fat. Apartments are absolutely fine. It's the cinnamon clothes ones that have an issue. Peach Patch, they are coming here with their belongings, those who don't want to wait on the police. I don't know where these people will go. They will definitely need FEMA assistance. The Hillsborough County Public School shelters are still open. Once again, I don't know how long they're gonna keep them open. I was gonna get Bo and walk in there.
I hope she means that they're open for shelter.
Somebody from the Peach Patch said, "Don't walk into that shit water." So I'm like, I was already scared of alligators. I don't want to be super sick. But if you look down there, guys, you can see people walking to Fowler Ave, and it is to their waist. They're saying
Yeah, Peach ain't worried about nothing. She don't give a damn, okay? And didn't care what nobody had to say about her.
some of the units over there are underwater. Let me see if I can hitchhike a boat ride. Let me see what I can pull out my.
But that also might be to the fact that, like, if you've been living there for a long time, you probably know the areas that are more prone to flooding, you know?
Please. Oh wow. And she just walked from his apartment.
Like when I went to college in San Marcos, Texas, which is right in between Austin and San Antonio, anytime it would flood or the river would flood, there were just certain areas, like the apartment complex right next to me always got flooded out, but it sat a little lower than my apartment complex and we never got flooded out, you know? So that's not something that I had to worry about but other students, because it was student housing, other students would have their entire cars flooded out. It would be bad.
And he said that it is waist deep. His deep freezer is floating. He said that the police is just riding past them on their boats, not even saying hi, not asking them if they're okay, not even trying to save them. Now they got a truck. They say they don't care. I don't think that was the police. They looked like regular people. Oh. It's been like that since 5 a.m. Wow.
Yeah. I was reading a comment that somebody from New Orleans made, and they were like, in New Orleans during a hurricane, they don't really care. They say if a car got a note, let it float. What? These people are out of control. Okay. I saw this. Hold on. Now I saw this yesterday, so I'm sure that this is probably not from Hurricane Milton. It might be from a previous storm. But remember how we were talking about like what happens to animals during these storms and these hurricanes, and a lot of them are, you know, getting left behind or getting carried away by the storms. Y'all see that pig? I didn't even think about sea animals getting pushed up on shore during hurricanes. Now, I don't think that's during the hurricane because that looked too shallow. Y'all see that? That's a hippo. So I wonder if that hippo was wild or if the hippo was... That's a hippo. So I wonder if the hippo was wild or if it got swept away from a zoo. Okay, now this right here is what I'm afraid of. So y'all see that water is all the way up on these people's steps. There's a gator in that water. I don't know if y'all can see it good. Yeah, that's scary. Let me see if I had anything else I wanted to show y'all.
Patch. Now we are on actually Fowler Avenue. We just left from the back side. It is flooded in certain areas right here. The police have blocked off more of the street. Before you can come all the way up and turn around, now they set up a barricade and they're making everybody make a U-turn. They are rescuing people. I just seen the sheriff's office pull up with some jet skis, like 2 jet skis on the back of their truck. I wonder how
Not the jet skis. Okay.
this is gonna go. Most of the residents have already said fuck it and started walking out in waist deep water. They're soaking wet. They're not being told where to go next, what to get. Residents who are walking up in the waist deep water, once they get up here, nobody is saying, hey, go here. This is who can help you. Nobody is giving them any resources. I've told a couple of them they can go to the Middleton high school shelter. I don't know, how to do the FEMA stuff. I don't know what they have to do. Everybody is trying to come out here to get a look at what's going on at Cinnamon Cove Apartments. This Steak and Shake parking lot is flooded as well. It's not too deep. The water isn't too deep, but it's flooded. All right, Peach Pitch. So we have made it closer, and we're seeing people come up on. Is that a canoe? In a canoe. All right, Peach Patch. This is what the rescue is looking like. There's somebody on a kayak. So Peach Patch, people are still walking. We went the other direction just now, and that way is a shorter walk than walking all the way this way. There is a tree in the middle of the road, also making it a little bit more challenging for them to walk this way. Peach Patch. Now we are
She probably is not able to get into areas where it is really bad because the police has it blocked off. Okay, Skinny, I'm gonna go back and look at those videos. I'm going to look at your videos in a second. Hey Carlos, welcome back. This is sad. Poor animals. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure a lot of animals lose their lives during hurricane season, baby. I bet not ever show a Colombian in that video I just showed y'all. They would have a heart attack in real life, in real time. Okay. So there's this guy. Let me see if I can find him. Lieutenant Dan. Now, if y'all ain't heard about Lieutenant Dan, he does these videos on his sailboat. Okay. So he's big on TikTok. People check up on him. So when the storm came, he decided he was going to stay right on his boat in the bay. So this was before the storm.
The safest place to be is on a boat to flood. Okay, we learned that with Noah. Everybody that stayed on land drowned. Noah and the animals lived. So I'm fine.
Do you have any animals?
No, I wish I did.
Okay.
These 2 females.
I'm good. Are you okay? Everybody's worried about you.
Who's worried about you?
It's all over TikTok.
Everybody, across the country.
I'm gonna go live in a minute.
Are you gonna be okay?
I'm gonna be fine.
I don't think people realize you're so close to down. I mean, you could just get off if something bad happened. You know what I mean?
I'm not going anywhere. The safest place to be is on a boat.
So Lieutenant Dan was completely unbothered. And then the reporter came back to check on him. Now, I saw a video earlier where the reporter was being shady because the people were asking the literal mayor about Lieutenant Dan. And she was like, oh, we evacuated him to a shelter. And then the reporter came back and he was like, I don't know why she said that. That's strange. He's still here.
He's okay, which is incredible, Ashley, based on what we've been through over the last couple of hours. Lieutenant Dan. I've got you on News Nation. We just wanted to. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm getting wet.
He's fine. He's getting
He don't
wet.
care.
Are you concerned when the water comes back in?
I don't know what's gonna happen. I'll have to see what happens. Just hanging in tight, waiting for the water to come in so I can see what I got to do then.
He said he can't.
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just waiting on it to happen. I aspire to live with that level of peace and comfort about my reality and whatever happens, because he's like, baby, I might live, I might be unalived. I'm not worried about it. I'm chilling in my boat like I always do. I saw Lieutenant Dan this morning. LOL. He's the epitome of a Floridian. Yeah, like him and Peach McIntyre. There's something else.
He's hanging in tight. Wait, oh boy, it's coming in here again. Okay. Okay, keep me posted. So the good news is there's some people up here I think who are sort of trying to keep an eye on him. But just to show Luis, I mean, it's not a good situation because the water has receded. So he's like, his boat is now basically touching the floor of the bay. And what he was saying, if you couldn't hear, is he's concerned. What he's wondering is what's going to happen when the water comes back in. He's okay.
Now, I was watching this other girl on TikTok. I didn't save the video, but she was saying that there are so many Lieutenant Dans that's actually kind of normal for people who live on boats to just decide we're going to stay here and stay on our boat and ride it out.
It was pretty mellow. The wind picked up for a little bit and bounced me around. At one point last night, I was getting bashed up against this wall. So I went out and I cut my anchor line to get away from it. So I have a $250 anchor sitting down there that I got to go in and get.
Dan, you weren't afraid at all last night?
No, I'm not scared.
Hold on. He said he got to go in the water and get the anchor. That anchor would stay there, sir. You gonna swim to the bottom? Okay.
Through this weather is nothing, and I put my faith in God. God told me to come here. God told me 5 years ago, I was in Colorado. He put on my heart, Tampa, Florida, and get a boat. I woke up one morning with that on my heart, and that's all I could think about. And I left Colorado. I went to North Carolina, left North Carolina, came to Florida. I've been in Florida for 5 years, stuck on the East Coast, never came over. In March, I came over. I found this boat for $1,200. I bought it. I come to Tampa, and guess what? Tampa floods. Not today, not yesterday, but during the last one, Helena. Helena was way worse than what this one was. I mean, they were calling for a Cat 5. I didn't know what to expect. But what happened last night was nothing compared to Helena.
So you think if another storm rolls through Tampa, you're going to remain on your boat?
Yeah, I'd remain on the boat no matter what. It was pretty mellow.
Baby, if standing 10 toes down was a person, that's Lieutenant Dan. And like when I first saw them bring up Lieutenant Dan, I was like, are they trying to be funny? Because somebody was asking about Lieutenant Dan on, I think it was Peach McIntyre's video. So I'm like, are they trying to be funny? When I think Lieutenant Dan, I think Forrest Gump. I'm like, Lieutenant Dan, like no legs, Lieutenant Dan. And I'm like, oh, he's a real person. But Lieutenant Dan don't care. He said, I have a mission. I already know what I want to do with my life. And when you think about somebody like that, imagine how carefree he is compared to the people who live on land and have these houses, and they're going to have to start all over, deal with insurance. Maybe they didn't have insurance and they lost everything or gotten so accustomed to having so much stuff. And this man is like, baby, all I have is this boat. I don't have that many possessions, but I'm happy. And this boat, it's going to weather the storm. Okay. I can be on this boat during the storm. I don't have to worry about replacing anything from water damage. That is what a boat is for. Hey, Olivia, how are you? That's literally what I thought about when you said his name. Yeah, that's exactly. I said, Lieutenant Dan. Oh, he's a real person. But yeah, let me go to Instagram, Skinny Boy, and see what you're talking about. I'm going to look up the unaliving toll. I feel like now if something really, like if a really bad storm hits Florida, these Floridians really are not going to take it seriously because they're just, they hyped this one up so bad, and everybody that I've seen so far has been fine. Hold on. Now, that doesn't mean that other people did not lose their lives. I'm just saying, like, there are so many more people on the internet who were like, baby, that was nothing. That, it's not giving Katrina vibes. It's not. Wow. Did y'all see this? These Floridians are playing in the water. I gotta watch this again. Something is wrong with them, y'all. I'm scared of Florida people. I'm sorry. Like if I ever, it's the couple people who like and I can fight real good. Okay. There's a couple people who I don't even like, I don't care what they look like, man, woman, boy, girl, child, they could be disabled. There are a couple people from a couple places that I'm never uh attempting to have a fight with. Like they could say the most disrespectful thing to me, and I'm just gonna let them have it. It's Haitians. You can't pay me to disrespect the Haitian. Okay. I had a Haitian cuss me out in St. Thomas, and I just got quiet. Cause baby, you not finna put no bones in the ground over me, go to Haiti on me. Like, you're not, no, we're not doing this. You got it, sir. And Floridians, they don't care.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Finish shit. Finish shit.
What is going on? Wow, they play too much.
Even though you're in
Not she praise dancing.
I want you to know you cause me.
Oh, hold on. Oh, I don't know even know if I can play that, y'all. The woman praise dancing. Oh, no, stop playing. My video is definitely gonna get flagged. Y'all, the woman is praise dancing in a long black dress. Y'all see what I'm saying? Leave them Florida people alone. Hey, y'all, good afternoon. Glad you're okay, Skinny. Girl, Skinny wasn't worried about nothing. Okay. I talked to him. I'm like, okay, hey, what's going on? He's like, I'm not even over there by that. But he's crazy like the rest of them. Let the truth be told. Thank you, sweetheart. But I live in North Florida. We didn't get hit. And guess what? Even if he was in the path of the storm, we making fun of these people. He is them. It's beautiful that some people are keeping a positive mindset after a storm. Because it's like, what can you do at that point? I mean, you could either get depressed or go into despair, especially if you've lost a lot, or you could just look at it as, okay, well, F it. This is my ability to start over. And I'm saying that because there are so many people that came to Texas after Katrina and they're doing good now. You know, I think it was hard at first, losing everything, not being able to go back to where you're from. New Orleans is a beautiful place with beautiful culture. It's definitely changed since after Katrina, but for a lot of them, their heritage is, being a New Orleans. No, they have a way different history and background than the rest of the United States. But a lot of them had to leave, start over. A lot of them didn't even know where their family members were. But look at them now. It's like this too shall pass. A lot of them were able to come to Texas, get houses, get access to better education, get good jobs. A lot of people went to even Utah, like they went all over, and they're in a better space now. So it's like in those type of moments when you have that kind of despair and when you've lost everything, you just have to remember that life continues forward. Moments pass, right? Trouble don't last always, and good times don't last always. So you got to be able to, go through the ups and downs. And a lot of times you can't even appreciate the ups if you've never been down. You won't even really appreciate the fact that you're up. The estimated unaliving toll is 10 people. That's awesome. Oh yeah, this is nowhere near Katrina. Nowhere near. And I said that to say, y'all saw all that arguing they were doing in behind hurricane relief funds before the hurricane hit, and people getting themselves all in a tizzy and getting upset over at other people. And it's like the storm didn't even hit as bad. It wasn't as bad as what they said that it would be. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of property and structural damage. I'm sure some people will probably never be able to go into their homes. But as far as people being alive, which is the most important thing, they're still here. I was in the path of Helene. I went and got me a little something to sip on. Boy, not you was sipping on Henny in the middle of the storm. I mean, well, what can you do? What can you do? Hey, D Valley, what's up? He said, what up, lunch mates? It's good to see you here, brother. Yes. We're just talking about Hurricane Milton and the aftermath of that. We talking about how crazy these Floridians are. Yes, y'all follow me on TikTok at the Passport Sis. Now, you dropped a link in my chat, Skinny. I'm going to go look at it. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Now, does this have any music? This I could get a copyright strike for. Okay, so it looks like this is from WPLG Local 10. It says rescue operations underway to save trapped residents after Hurricane Milton. I'm gonna go ahead and share the tab.
We brought you here today to let you know.
Rescue residents after Milton. And many people trapped as that hurricane passed through the state. A local 10 Cyber Onward is in our newsroom now with the latest on the search and rescue operations underway right now.
Christy and Alexis, Floridians who sought.
Why is it not sharing it? Hold on. Okay, you can. I'm sorry. I was on the wrong thing.
Refuge in shelters or hunkered down in their homes are getting a first look at the destruction, while others are actively being rescued. Governor DeSantis says 9,000 National Guardsmen have been mobilized to respond to the storm, along with 1,400 search and rescue first responders. Rescue efforts underway from the overnight hours and well into Thursday after Milton pummeled the Gulf Coast. Teams now.
Hold on, real quick. Do y'all think they show the real unaliving toll? Because I don't think that they actually report the real numbers. Because I feel like even the toll for Katrina was way too low for the devastation.
Navigating high floodwaters to help people onto rescue boats, getting them out of hurricane-ravaged homes and to safety.
But I'm just glad we're out and to safety and to where we can charge up our phones because I don't have any power because of my family is probably wondering where I'm at.
In Clearwater, a Pinellas County Sheriff's vehicle takes previously stranded residents through the high water that inundated the coastal town streets. A sheriff's office rescue boat takes a family with a small child from their flooded home to dry land. A woman spotted on her.
Imagine having a newborn baby or like a baby under like 3 to have to take care of during this time.
Balcony, unable to access the lower floor of her flooded apartment building. Rescuers wade through chest-high water to get to her and her neighbors. Tampa police sharing this video of officers entering a home to rescue a family from their house after a tree crashed through their roof. And this video is just into our newsroom. Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputies were patrolling by boat near Tampa this morning when they came across a 14-year-old boy who was floating in the water. He was hanging on to part of a fence to stay above the water. There he is there. You can see it. That boat approaching him.
Wow, that is scary. I wonder how long he was waiting in that water.
Near Tampa. They're helping him on there. There we go. We know that he is supposed to be okay. Really heroic efforts going on at this moment. There are also 50,000 linemen on hand to help restore power to the millions who are now without electricity. That's the latest from the newsroom. Syra Onwar, Local 10 News.
Yeah, so like we're probably not going to see all of the devastation on TikTok because most of the people who are making videos on TikTok have probably had some type of access to power source. And like Peach McIntyre, they're in areas where it wasn't bad. And then you can't even go in areas where it was flooded out. So it's like we do kind of have to rely on local news because they're able to get in there. They have access to those areas. Hurricane, but you can call it Slurricane. Hold on, what is that from? I don't know that song. Thank you. Yes, y'all follow me at Mariah Sincere on Instagram. Yes, guys, and my Cash App is Mariah Sincere if you want to bless your girl's game. And yes, if y'all are just coming in, please hit the like button. That helps people know that I'm on live. Also, subscribe as well. Most of the people that watch me are not subscribed to me. I don't think they report accurate numbers either. No, I don't think so. I feel like all numbers they report are skewed. I think so too. I think a lot of times they want to downplay some of the devastation. Um, but I wonder why. Like now I'm concerned. Why did they talk about this hurricane in the manner that they did? Like, why did the mayor come on there and say, if you stay, you're going to pass? And honestly and truly, people had already been projecting that it was going to hit at a category 3. Um, so I don't know why they were making it seem like it was just going to be the worst hurricane that we'd ever experienced here in the United States. I wonder if they were. I don't want to say that because now I'm getting into conspiracy theories. But sometimes I think during these storms, like when I think about what happened with Katrina and how a lot of the people had to evacuate or they lost their homes, a lot of the reason why they didn't go back is because they couldn't go back. Like their homes had been marked as condemned. And then what happened is you had it was like a brand new market opened up. People basically had their land snatched from them. And you had people who were able to come in and get these properties and build a new city over it, dang near. So it's a really good financial opportunity for those who have the money to come in and buy up property after, the hurricane and during cleanup efforts. And it just kind of makes me wonder sometimes, like, is this some type of ploy to get lower income people out of their homes so that that land can be taken over and gentrified? I'm smelling what you're cooking, but let me hush. Yeah. So it's like I don't want to get too deep into it because again, YouTube has been really on that censorship thing. And I don't want anybody to notice my little old channel over here. I'm still trying to grow, but it does make you wonder. Next thing we're gonna talk about is Jaguar Wright. So did y'all watch that interview that Jaguar Wright did on Pierce Morgan? Okay, now I've been seeing Jaguar Wright's name all up and down these streets. So for those of y'all who don't know, Jaguar Wright used to be a singer. So she was heavily in the industry, heavily involved with Jay-Z and them in the early 2000s. And she's admitted to doing some shady things too, but now she's coming out and speaking up against the entire industry, and people have been calling her crazy. She had been speaking up about Diddy and Jay and all of them before it even became popular to do, and people were calling her crazy, and it's like you're crazy until you're not. Okay. People were saying she didn't have any proof, she didn't have any evidence, any of that. She was just out here talking and clout chasing. But I mean, as time is her vindicator at this point. The more time passes and the more things come to the light, this woman looks saner and saner. Yeah, if you're not cooking or entertaining, then you gotta go. Yeah, period. Keep out the people they don't want there anyway. Yeah, that's what I feel like is going on. J and B gave Pierce the phone call. Yes. So basically what happened is Pierce Morgan allowed Jaguar Wright on his show. Now, Pierce Morgan is a respected name in the industry. Y'all understand? We all know Pierce Morgan. He's been on the news since I was a child, right? So for somebody like that to have you on their program shows that this person at least believes that there is some credibility. And from what Jaguar Wright was saying, was that his team like vets to the max, right? So she was heavily vetted before he agreed to have her on the show. And when he had her on the show, she took that as an opportunity to speak up against Jay-Z and Beyonce. Well, y'all know they weren't having that. So let me pull up the receipts. Give me 1 second, guys. Y'all, who was this choke no joke person I keep hearing about? Okay, so I'm going to pull this up from
lleno de vitaminas y nutrientes esenciales les ayuda en semanas a salir de la desnutrición.
Interview that Jaguar Wright did with Piers Morgan because they sent their lawyers at Piers. Now, I'm pretty sure you all may have heard about this interview. It went viral, and I was a bit surprised that Piers interviewed Jaguar because, you know, Jaguar is known to spew conspiracy theories, and she has made her rounds on different YouTube channels, which is not a problem, but I think it became a problem when she hopped on a mainstream media platform like Piers Morgan's.
Now, to be clear, Impressive Channel is like a Beyonce fan. Okay. So Impressive Channel is the big channel. She has 1.33 million subscribers. So she's a Beyonce fan. I always see her take Beyonce's side in the situation. I'm going to say that. So in her opinion, Jaguar Wright is a conspiracy theorist. Now, when she was talking about Diddy, it came to be that that wasn't an actual conspiracy, but okay.
Uncensored show and started making claims about Jay-Z and his ties to P. Diddy.
Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping
Paul?
people against their will, putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane, unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't.
Baby, so hold on now. So she is accusing, at this point, it sounds like she is accusing J&B of trafficking, kidnapping, putting illicit substances in people's bodies via what means, I don't know. I have to go on and hear. This is my first time listening to this. And being nasty. Okay.
Want to talk about Piers.
Now, when Jaguar did this interview, it was pretty shocking to a lot of people, and this interview spread like wildfire. I even couldn't believe that Jaguar made it to Piers Morgan. That was crazy to me.
Why she can't believe it? I don't understand why. Like, again, if you have somebody who's been speaking out for years and time is vindicating them, maybe everything that she is saying has not been proven yet. But as time goes forward, her allegations are being proven true little by little. Why does she not deserve for people to pay attention to what she's saying? So that kind of makes me wonder a little bit about the Impressive Channel, but I'm not going to give my thoughts on that just yet.
me. But a lot of the things she said seemed to be baseless, and she didn't really provide any proof. Now, she says she has proof, but we don't know for certain. And also, her kind of alluding to Jay-Z and Beyonce having something to do with Aaliyah's passing is just another big conspiracy theory that hasn't been backed up by any real facts. So Jay-Z and Beyonce had to respond to this, of course. So they sent their lawyers at Piers Morgan. They had him edit out parts of the interview, and they also had him apologize.
Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce.
So Jay-Z and Beyonce put their...
So basically, he said, hey, we really don't do editing. Y'all are threatening us with legal action. So just to get the fire off of us, we're going to take that out the show. But notice Piers Morgan didn't really go out of his way to try to like discredit Jaguar Wright or like, talk bad about her. He didn't seem that apologetic. It was more on some, y'all threatening us with legal action. We're just going to take it out the interview because we don't want to deal with the foolishness. Yeah, I am going to have to tap in with you, D. Malley. Follow me on Instagram. I don't think you follow me on Instagram. I'll follow you back. Choke No Joke was a videographer for Rockefeller. He fell out with Jay-Z and has been talking about him for years. So what she's saying is Jay-Z is a didophile. She has said, I'm going to pull up the interview. She said that Jay-Z is worse than Diddy. That's what she's saying. But you know what? I could believe that because Diddy does not seem as calculated as a Jay-Z is. Jay-Z seems like he's more cunning, but we've heard this for years that he's a very astute and cunning person. So somebody like that is going to go out of their way to hide their hand. But what are you hiding? Diddy allegedly had a particular substance in the baby oil to induce people, allegedly. Yeah, we talked about that on one of my lives. Notice Jaguar hasn't been sued for slander yet. No. And somebody was like, well, because she doesn't really have any money for them to sue her. But there are people that sue, like, for example, when, what's that boy? When Nick Carter got pissed off enough about the girl Melissa from Dream accusing him of essaying her, he sued her. She's not rich. A lot of the times you sue somebody just to try to clear your name. It's not about whether or not you can get money out of them when these rich people sue smaller people that talk about them. Exactly. And if it was all a lie, why didn't they sue her? Exactly. I believe she hasn't really told everything that she knows. I believe she's sitting on a lot of information. And I don't think they're trying to rock the boat with her. But I do wonder why she's been allowed to walk around talking this much, if you know what I mean. Like, why haven't they handled that? Not that I want them to. I would just imagine that would be something they would do. Sean, John, and Johnson. But let me see. I'm going to go back and let me tell y'all, I'm trying to say without saying this because I don't want nobody to look at my videos. See, I use their content. Then try to get me a copyright strike. There are a lot of influencers in this YouTube space that are plants, or maybe they did work their way up by themselves, but at some point they were approached to run PR for the establishment. Okay. When I think of channels that have over 1 million followers and they do celebrity gossip content, a lot of these celebrities know that people don't watch ETV anymore. They don't watch entertainment news. No, people are on the Shade Room. People are on YouTube. People are on TikTok, right? So I feel like a lot of these content creators get paid to run interference for these celebrities. I'm going to pull up the interview that Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal did together. Now, y'all know they're cool. And if those of y'all have never heard about Gene Deal, he used to be kind of like a bodyguard for P. Diddy. So this is on Real Life Productions. I'm not going to play the whole interview. They're based out of Dallas, Texas. They have a really big following, but what I like about Real Life Productions is that they give everybody a space to talk.
Use
Tell
PDF
their
Viewer to
opinion.
edit documents anytime, anywhere
And they ask really good questions.
from any device.
Right, that was the building. That's where they was giving the parties there, where you had leaders of the new school, Queen Latifah.
I'm gonna go back.
All of these big dick deviants is.
I ain't trying to watch Cat Williams.
Right, Missouri, where my mother was at. Wellston is it's the ghetto among ghettos. There's only 6,000 people. People ain't stop at the stop sign when you went to Wellston. So if you know what they're talking about, if you came out of Wellston, you had to educate yourself, because the school district, if you came out of high school, you probably had a 6th or 7th grade education.
So let me ask you, for those that, some people know your story and they see you on this couch, so they know what we're about to get into. As a curiosity, for those who don't know, your profession was a bodyguard.
Not at all.
Okay, go ahead, please.
My profession I was professionally a New York State parole officer, where I worked for 27 years. Okay. You understand? My second profession was an investigator for Elite Investigation, where I ran the investigations of housing projects in the city, Lambert Housing, Taino Towers, Eastchester, Mass.
So he knows things.
Puff need, some help, man. He need to get that money home at night and everything like that, to Kirk Burroughs and stuff like that. So why don't you go help him out? I said, I ain't got no problem with that. So I put him up under my wing. So I started helping him out, by, making sure when the end of the party and stuff like that, get in the car, bring him uptown. So to answer your question, sorry about that. My profession first was, like I said, parole officer, then investigator, which it was with the housing projects and stuff like that. Then that bodyguard thing was just me looking after, people that was in our crew and clique.
So is it safe to say that you were familiar with like the music industry of some sorts before Puff came into picture?
Well, I think that I got involved with the music industry because a guy named Tim Dog. If you know, Tim Dog is not the one who had the that F. Compton thing. Tim Dog was one of the
at these parties and making sure things were going certain situations. Were there any younger cats that we might recognize today that would ever try to act like they were better than, or try to force their way or push their way past y'all?
That came in the later days, man. That came when dudes would have like 20 or 30 guys with them because they were scared. You understand? But you got to realize, when you have certain people that was out there with me, you had Slick, Tima. These guys are known in the street. Yeah. They the godfather of some of the biggest gangsters that you heard of. Alpo, Lou Sims. You understand? They respected them. So now when I got them working and they part of the team and they running the security like that, ain't nobody gonna try nothing, bro.
So, man, let's get right to it then. To be what you were doing in your team, y'all had to have seen some evil shit, like some pretty fucked up shit coming from niggas with money, I'm assuming.
Well, you see that from niggas who don't have money also.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you see a lot of shit. It is what it is.
And I've said this before. It's a lot of Diddy's and it's a lot of Jay-Z's out here in these streets. The difference between them and a lot of regular people that we walk amongst is that Diddy and Jay had money. They had access to power. They had access to people with money, right? But it's a lot of people who, if they were given the opportunity to have the same amount of money and power, they would just be more of themselves. Okay, and how you know this is look at how trifling they are now without any money. Look at how manipulative they are without any money. Look at how deceitful they are right now without any money. And just know that if they got the opportunity, a lot of people would be doing the same things that Diddy and Jay did.
So, I have to ask you that, because sometimes when you see like, let's say a Puff, he might have a manager who might be an enabler, like to help him get to her, like R. Kelly or whoever. And you have their bodyguards or security unit who might allow some things to take place. Might see it and just, hey, we're going to just allow it because, hey, it's the essence. What was your mentality when it comes to the enablers or the people that allow, or just what, how did you approach the situation that you're like, I don't know about that?
I don't know what you mean by that question.
I think there are a couple people that would have surpassed Beyonce had they not passed. For example, I think if Selena Quintanilla would have been who she should have been, you don't get Beyonce. I think if Aaliyah would have continued on her career path, you don't get Beyonce, because when you think about the likeness of both of these women, both of them were far more likable. Both of them had acquired fan bases solo. They didn't need a group, right? Both of them were extremely talented, had their own style and had their own flair, right? And I believe, and Beyonce came with her own style and flair too, but the personality wasn't really just there. A lot of that came because she was just too embarrassed to talk. And also, if you go back and look at interviews from her in the earlier days, she didn't seem like somebody who was really like empathetic. Like, for example, she was always kind of throwing shade at people, throwing shade at the other girls, looking at them crazy during interviews. Whereas when you talk to like a Selena or an Aaliyah, they were just light. They were fun. They were bubbly. I remember watching one of Selena's documentaries, and basically she was like, when she was making her pieces to sell, she had fashion. That's another thing. Selena had a whole clothing line. But when she was designing her pieces, she said she wants the pieces to look like a woman who still remembers like she's a girl, And of course, they all had their own things going on in the background, but overall, I think in terms of trajectory, they had better star power than Beyonce. Without the passing of Selena, you don't get Jennifer Lopez. And she ended up being what people thought Selena would be, but because she didn't have the talent, I don't think she went as far as she could have.
Such a broad and asinine ass question that it's hard to answer something like that.
Let me be more direct.
Be direct, bro.
Let me be more direct.
Yeah.
Were you an enabler, or did you allow or see stuff that you're like, man, I ain't gonna jump in that?
Bro,
go ahead.
Criminals do crimes with criminals. I've never been a criminal. You understand what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So now, if you're looking to answer something about Puff, Puff ain't the Puff. Puff had different phases of his life that y'all don't understand. And let's get down to the nitty gritty of it. You understand? First, you got Puff Daddy, who had Daddy's house and the parties and things like that. Then you had Puff. You understand? Then you had Diddy. Then you had Brother Love, and then Love. I had Puff around the stage when he was Puff Daddy and Puff and some of Diddy. Not the new Diddy that they gave the Diddler and everything like that. So he ain't the guy, he wasn't the guy that y'all see now back then when he was in Harlem. You understand? He was the guy that our crew chased down the street because he was trying to be a part of it and he ran. You understand? We brought him back, beat the shit out of him, hit him in the head with cake spoon, with champagne and all the other shit like that. He was wanted to be a part of us. He was the one used to beg, don't go to the party, please, please, I'm on my way. I'm on my way, so he could walk in the club with us. You understand? So to answer that question, bro, you're not doing nothing that's gonna cost my livelihood. You understand? You're not gonna do anything in front of me to cost my livelihood. You understand? Now, have I seen some shit? I seen a dude come up in the club and blow somebody's head off. I see the smoke running through the crowd trying to get to the lights. You understand? At a New Year's Eve party. So now I see this guy laying on the ground with his head tore down to the white meat. Did I know who did it? No. Did somebody tell me it's about to happen? Yes, they did. Yo, Gene, somebody got a gun in here. No, they didn't. We searched everybody. He came through the back door of the kitchen. You understand?
Yeah.
Because it was a restaurant that was giving a party. Yeah. The guy came through the back. I run and turn on the light.
I'm
As
going
soon
to
as I hit
fast forward through some of this.
Puff, because he want to talk to Puff and tell Puff the real story about his father. So I said, yeah, all right. So I'm like, New York Freddie. I knew my history. I knew what New York Freddie was about. So I went and took a meeting with New York Freddie. He said, New York Freddie said to me, he said, yo, man, I've been trying to get in touch with Puff. Russell Simmons, none of them would take my calls. It's all good. He said, I want to tell Puff the true story about his father. And I said, you're all right. Okay. You know, what's up? You're going to listen to those guys. You understand? So New York Freddie said, Puff father sold some drugs to one of their undercover guys. You understand? They arrested him because they had cops on the payroll to, you know, see what you about. He said they brought him the tape and the written confection that Puff father signed. So I was like, yo, he said, we gave him $10,000. It was a New York City cop. He worked for them. He said, we gave him $10,000. Puff father said that he only told because he had a wedding to go to, which I thought was hilarious. You understand? This is coming from New York Freddie. So he said that I wanted to talk to Puff, but he wouldn't take my calls. He wouldn't see me. He said, I wanted to let him know that I told the guy, y'all got to get rid of him. Y'all brought him in. Y'all got to get rid of him. So all these people talking about he worked for Frank Lucas. He worked for that part like that. He may have gotten some things from them or whatever, did some work. Nah, he worked with New York Freddie team. And
okay, so did he come from people that been in the streets or been tied to corruption? So it's all making sense. So he didn't just come up out of nowhere. Okay, it's kind of like a situation where the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, you know?
New York Freddie told the dude to get
I'm
rid
going
of
to pause and look at some of y'all
now,
comments.
If Puff father was all that.
So somebody said J-Lo's talent is average, in my opinion. It is. I mean, she's nowhere near. She ain't Selena. Notice that even during the taping of the Selena film. Now, granted, fans wanted them to use Selena's voice, but that girl can't sing like Selena Quintanilla. She can't. Nowhere near. Selena was direct competition with B because they both from Texas. Yes. She not only was she direct competition with B, but Selena she could have drawn in a bigger audience. Okay, think about it like this. Y'all know Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is Puerto Rican, but he makes songs in Spanish, but he'll hop on English-speaking albums. Sometimes on some of his Spanish music, he will say certain things in English, right? But I had to explain to my kids who were talking mess. I was listening to Bad Bunny in class one day, like before my kids came in, and they came in and heard, and they were talking mess. And I was like, Bad Bunny makes more money than your favorite rapper. What? Yeah, he does, right? He makes more money than your top 5 favorite rappers of this generation combined, because that's a whole nother market. So if you can tap into the English speaking market, and then you can tap into the Spanish speaking market, and Spanish speaking people, Latin American people love music, and they pay to go to these concerts, and they love to dance. Come on now. You're going to make a, I don't want to say the word. You're going to make a lot of money. Okay. So Selena would have been a problem in a way that Jennifer Lopez could not have been. And even J-Lo had a really good run when she came out, and when she was tied to Diddy. Her first album was really, really good. So even with her being of mediocre talent, they were able to make her a star. You know, imagine what you could have done with a Selena Quintanilla. It was rumored that he got murked by a drug deal going bad. Talking about Diddy's father. Puff already had connections before we knew him. Yeah, these people aren't just coming out of nowhere. I was even listening to Jaguar Wright talk about how most of the people in the industry are related. That was J-Lo's best acting job. Yeah, she did that. We're going to give her flowers for that. She did that. Lunch hour popping. Yes, thank you. Okay, let's continue. I'm going to fast forward because honestly, I don't really care about Diddy's daddy like that. Okay. This is him talking about the night of Biggie passing.
Night Big died, and that was Puff.
And Jen, I want you to stay right there. You were present when Big died, and I seen you went back and forth with Mace about what he had going on and what you did. What I want you to do is, if you can, for those, especially young kids who don't even know that era, what was the atmosphere like when being in LA, moving around after the situation with Pac, and just being on the West Coast, going back to Cali? Can you explain the atmosphere of just what you felt in the air of just what that day was or what that weekend was?
Not to disrespect the women that's in here, I was young, dumb, and full of cum. I didn't give a fuck. You understand? And I was smart.
You know what? I like old school men like this who know it's women present. Let me be mindful, and I'm about to say something that's inappropriate. So let me acknowledge the women that are here. Like, men need to go back to only talking a certain way, talking real nasty when you in the barbershop.
Smart enough to know that I better vest the fuck up and know if something go down, I may have to handle something. I may not come back home. I was just that dumb because I didn't have to be there. I chose to be there. But then again, I was told something that didn't happen. We're not going nowhere. We're not going to no parties. We're going to do the Soul Train, and we're going to do studio. So to get off a private jet or a regular plane and go straight to the hotel and just go straight to the studio and go straight to Soul Train, I thought that would be cool to make the money. You understand what I'm saying?
Good plan.
But that wasn't even the situation. Me and Puff went to a lot of parties and a lot of places that Big them never showed up at. The only time I seen Big them was at the studio and Soul Train. You understand?
Yeah.
So it was dangerous, it was idiotic, and it was crazy for us to risk anybody's life for being in Cali at the time.
Around the time when Pac was actually killed, did Puff exhibit any kind of weird behavior or maybe any kind of guilt?
And I wonder what Puff said to Biggie to convince him to go to Cali. Like, especially knowing that people on the West Coast was irritated after Pac's passing. Like, How could you convince him to go there? But people do dumb things. Like I remember in Dallas after Yella Beezy got shot. Who was that? Yes, Yella Beezy ended up in the hospital. Then you had Trap Boy, Freddie, and them. Like that whole team was beefing. Okay, then Mo 3, who was friends with Lil Boosie. Mo 3 got unalived. He got walked down on a highway off I-35 in Dallas. Y'all might not even know these people that I'm talking about if you're not from Dallas. But he got walked down on the highway, got unalived. He had done a few tracks with Boosie and Kevin Gates. You know, he was on his way up. Well, after he gets unalived, Boosie writes a status talking about some only time will tell. Then he proceeds to come to Dallas, which I don't know why he did that. Dallas loved Boosie, but still, you know, he comes to Dallas, goes to Big T Bazaar to go see Jim City Lewis to get some chains, and his whole Sprinter van gets blasted up. He got shot in the leg in Dallas, right? So they ran down on him in Dallas. So I don't know what convinces these men that they are invincible. That if you go to areas where you know there's some beef or problems, that you walking out of there safe, like it's sweet. That's not how that go. I think they just want to look like they're not afraid, but that's not how that go. You know, when you are on other people's territory, it's harder to control all the variables and what goes down. That's even hard living in your own neighborhood. So imagine being in somebody else's.
Guilt.
I didn't see Puff exhibit any of those feelings. How do you give a fuck about your enemy?
Well, one would say if a man is not as tough, he might feel like shit. Somebody might know. Somebody might tell.
Tell what? Know what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not a question.
We heard of, and I'm gonna throw his name out there because he's arrested right now.
But check it out. Don't brain wrestle with me, man. If you gotta say something, say what you gotta say. Yeah. Do what you gotta do, man. You know, this is your money, your time, bro. Come on, let's do this.
Keepy D was arrested. There was words of $10,000 that was supposed to get in somebody's hands for when Tupac was murdered.
$10,000.
Let's just say
I ain't heard that story.
Yeah, I might be off on the number, but amount of number was supposed to get in somebody's hands, but it didn't quite make it there. And this is through the Keefy D Blad series, to where anything that, as far as, you know, again, you know, not saying who was what, but because that happened, because Tupac was murdered, that some money was to be exchanged. It didn't happen. Did you ever hear any rumblings of someone didn't get paid?
No, not at all.
How did it feel? How did Puffy react when Biggie was killed?
He was distraught, but he was in a daze, like, because I don't think that he thought it could happen. Because I told him before we left, that we go to this party, somebody gonna die tonight, bro. I got a phone call. I got a phone call by 3 credible sources. You understand? Right. Chaz Williams over Black Hands, part of the Guerrilla Black Mafia. Unique from Mecca Audio. And the dude that was running with Jodeci now. Now, if people tell you they're not going to a party, and it's supposed to be the lit party of the century, you see Mace didn't show up at the party because he knew something too.
Dang, so people knew, there was word out. That's crazy. So let's say, for benefit of the doubt, let's say that Diddy had absolutely nothing to do with Biggie's passing. Which some people say that he did, because the motive would be that you can still make money off of him while he's gone. And then Biggie was trying to get away from Diddy anyway, you know, so there's all of that. But let's say Diddy didn't put the hit out. At the very least, people were warning you and telling you not to go to this party. And it's not like a major incident where another artist got murked didn't just happen. Matter of fact, it's alleged that Diddy was the one that had something to do with that. Do y'all know that Pac's family has hired an investigator? They're trying to reopen that whole case. But so at the very least, Diddy's getting these warnings and just completely ignoring them because he wants to go party. All right, see you, Skinny. Thank you for coming. You have a good day. I'm gonna get off here soon, y'all.
And where I could say Mace knew something because the people out in California, when Mace went to basketball game, they told him, we want Puff and we want Big. See, everybody do all these investigations and everything like that, and they don't listen to the people who were there. Like I said before, there were people who wanted Big dead, and there were people who wanted Puff dead. You get it?
Right.
The people that wanted Puff dead, you understand, I thought was a dude from the Nation of Islam that we got into it at Soul Train. Right?
Guys, we're going to put a pin in that. We're going to put a pin in that because I've run way past my lunch hour. Tomorrow, the topic is just going to be Jaguar Wright allegations. We're going to go into these video clips and these theories or her experiences that she's brought up. We're going to discuss Gene Deal. We're also going to talk about how Ashton Kutcher, which is crazy to me, how Ashton Kutcher is tied into all of this. So that's it for my lunch hour today, guys. It's been real. Thank everybody for coming and supporting. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. And I will see y'all tomorrow at 12:05. Y'all have a good day.